The artefacts that we know today as the Benin Bronzes are the cultural heritage of the Kingdom of Benin and its capital Benin City, which is today in Edo State in southern Nigeria. The best known are probably the commemorative heads, or Uhumun Elao. These are portrait heads that represented the Oba, or divine king of Benin, and the Ioba, or the Queen Mother. And they would have been part of royal shrines to ancestors that were dotted throughout the royal palaces in Benin City. As well as materializing the history of the Kingdom of Benin and their elaborate cultural and social life, the bronzes are also of exceptional artistic significance and extraordinary technical feats of brass casting. In February 1897, a British-led force known as the Punitive Expedition, or later the Benin Expedition, sacked the city and its royal palace. Thousands of artefacts were looted and taken back to England, where they were sold, entering the collections of museums across Europe and across the world, including here in Cambridge. Artefacts looted from Benin City in 1897 came to Cambridge from several sources. Some were donated to the museum by families of participants in the Benin Expedition. Most were purchased from dealers such as J.C. Stevens of London, whose major sale in June 1902 was explicitly advertised as a sale of items seized during the Benin Expedition. Others came from William Downing Webster, a London-based dealer who effectively cornered the market in Benin artefacts in the late 1890s and early 1900s, selling bronzes to dozens of museums across Europe. The Museum of Archaeology and Anthropology cares for approximately 470 objects from Benin City, although the vast majority of those were collected later in the 20th century. We've so far identified 116 objects that we believe to have been taken in the violent military action of February 1897.
The Museum of Archaeology and Anthropology has had policies in place for decades around the repatriation of artefacts. A few years ago, we realized as public interest in these questions mounted, we really needed to look again at that policy to think carefully about a policy that was right for the 21st century. The framework, and I think the view of the university, the understanding of colleagues, is that where artefacts have been acquired under these circumstances, where communities in nations of origin are calling for the return of material, and where we know there is a strong public interest and a strong institutional framework for material to be returned, we will be supportive of that. Back in March 2017, we had a landmark meeting here in Cambridge of the Benin Dialogue Group, and that meeting effectively restarted a long-standing discussion between the leaders of European museums and the Benin court, the community, and the national government in Nigeria. Since then, things have gained momentum in a tremendously positive, collaborative way, above all in a spirit of collaboration, and that's led to more focused and more intensive discussion about the development of new museum facilities in Benin City, but also most concretely about return, about the transfer of ownership. And that process led to a submission that was received here in Cambridge in January 2022. That submission was then carefully considered by relevant university bodies and finally approved by the Council of the University. Everyone I've spoken to across Cambridge feels that this is the right thing to do and the right time to do it.
There's a widespread recognition in the museum sector and beyond that these artefacts should be returned to Benin City. There's been a lot of work that's gone on with the Benin Dialogue Group about finding new ways for this to happen. But we're all really excited that these objects are now returning to Benin City, that we have an opportunity to reset relationships. We have an opportunity to find new ways of engaging with the entangled collections and entangled histories that unite us all, and to find new ways forward, new ways of telling these stories, and new ways of working together.